Call of Duty has had a pretty weird year so far. It seems like the return of Verdansk and Warzone lightened things up a little bit, but there's still a lot of work to be done when it comes to bringing the community back, and it also seems like COD 2025, which we are now going to refer to as Black Ops 7, because that's what all of the insiders and all of the platforms are saying now, is meant to be this giant love letter to the fans. It's been seemingly confirmed that all the multiplayer maps at launch in Black Ops 7 will be remakes of the classic Black Ops 2 maps, and the story will be a direct sequel to the near future segments of Black Ops 2. So I asked the question, what about the guns? There have been rumors floating around there will be a bunch of Black Ops 2 gun remakes, but thanks to a huge leak by Twitter user Reality UK, which was sent to me by Elias, we now have a pretty massive chunk of the Black Ops 7 weapons to talk about, and trust me, these are going to be interesting. So we're going to go over all of the leaked guns in this video, and you guys can tell me if you think these are good or bad, because they're probably not what you're expecting. It seems like Black Ops 7 is going to be a game that bridges the gap between Black Ops 2 and 3, and that weapon selection is going to be a pretty obvious representation of that. So let's go through the entire list. Let's talk about each one of them. Take the list with a grain of salt, obviously, and let me know if you're interested in Black Ops 7 after this weapon list. Before we get into it, guys, we're giving away a PS5 at 2.8 million subscribers. That's right, we are trying that journey up the hill to 3 million subs. All the details are in the pinned comment below, completely free to enter, and multiple ways to enter. We'll pick a winner once we hit 2.8 million. Now, before we get into the list, just know that apparently Black Ops 7 is going to feature a ton of gun remakes from Black Ops history, but all of them are going to be by new names for some reason. I don't know. It seems like these are all just code names because each weapon class has a certain theme. You'll see what I mean once we get going. So the real names might be in the final build of the game, but as of right now, we just don't know for sure what the naming situation is going to be. So I'll tell you guys the new name for all these guns, but I'll also tell you the existing Black Ops gun that it's a remake of. Now, obviously, all these names are subject to change. I'm just going to go what off was sent to me, so don't shoot the messenger. We're going to start off with assault rifles. The Falcon. The Fallow SW. A fan favorite from Black Ops 2, the Fallow SW is the semi-automatic beast that kills in 2 shots to the body or head and has that very quick fire rate and 0 recoil. Now, as long as they don't bring back the MMS sight, this will probably be a fan favorite. Once again, it will. But if they do bring back the MMS sight, then things are going to get pretty toxic pretty quickly. And I actually like the name Falcon. The next one, yeah, we're going to stick with birds. The Hawk, the HVK-30. Lightweight assault rifle, debuted in Black Ops 3, generally seen as mid-tier. Solid fire rate, easy recoil, but relatively low damage per shot. So you would have to stay on target for a decent amount of time in order to get a kill. But then again, the higher fire rate meant it was pretty competitive up close in ways that other assault rifles weren't. So it's got a fan club. In fact, it was very similar to the next gun on the list. Before we get into it, I want to do a quick shout out to the community contributors. You see it on the screen right now. Yes, my analytics show me who comments the most and who gets involved in the videos the most. So to all these people on the screen right now, you are the top Chaos community contributors right now. And I'll randomly do these shouts for you guys. I really appreciate all the engagement you guys give back and forth with me. Next one, the Vulture. The Vapor XKG. Now, this was basically the Black Ops 4 equivalent of the HVK. Lightweight, relatively quick fire rate, low recoil, relatively low damage per shot, which meant you would have to stay on target for longer than usual at mid-range. Now, I'm a little confused why both the HVK and the Vapor are going to be in this game because they're similar to one another, but we'll just have to wait and see how everything pans out. See how the team differentiates these guns from each other if they both end up being in there. Next up, the Condor, or the Double Cross. I wasn't expecting this. The Double Cross was a DLC assault rifle in Black Ops 4. This was the first double barrel AR in COD history. I'm pretty sure you can fact check me on that. And it was pretty fun to goof around with. The damage and handling was standard, but the double barrel setup meant you had 2 magazines and a huge ammo pool to pull from. So it was kind of like this middle ground between the assault rifle and the LMG. It was great for a spray and pray playstyle. The Eagle, or the Peacekeeper. Fan favorite AR SMG hybrid, apparently coming back, this time classified as assault rifle. So you'll presumably have that quick handling and fire rate of an SMG, but you'll also have the accuracy and the range of an assault rifle, similar to previous versions. Everyone has their own idea of which Peacekeeper was the best. I personally still think the original Black Ops 2 version takes the cake, but some people insist the BO3 version was the best, so we'll have to wait and see how the new version stacks up. And finally, the Kite, the KN-57. Was actually recently talking about the KN family of rifles. They should be brought back, so here it is. Futuristic version of the AK type rifle. Relatively low fire rate, kind of clunky handling, but hits like a tank, heavy damage, and consistent time to kill and return, which made it really fun to use and super reliable. If it ends up being true, I'm glad to see the KN rifle family being brought back. It's a nice piece of world building. Now let's jump into the SMGs. The Zebra, or the Razorback. I was absolutely not expecting this gun to ever come back, but I absolutely totally welcome it. The Razorback was completely busted in Black Ops 3's beta, but then it was nerfed into the ground for the full release of the game, and hardly anyone ever got to experience it in its glory and prime. It was a gun with a relatively low fire rate, but it had no recoil. Had actually good range drop-off for an SMG too, which made it this nice middle ground between an SMG and a precision AR. Now, the time to kill wasn't great, but the handling, it was silky smooth. Probably mid-tier back in Black Ops 3, but I'm happy to see it return, especially since it has a really cool design. The Orca, or the VMP. Fan favorite SMG, debuted in Black Ops 3, totally hated, totally overpowered in Black Ops 4. As far as fictional weapons go in COD, the VMP is one of the most iconic because of how prominent it was in Black Ops 3 and 4. I'm not shocked at all that it would be brought back in another near future Black Ops title. Let's just hope that it's not as busted as it was in Black Ops 4. Next up is the Otter, or the Spitfire. This was the bullet hose of Black Ops 4, if you ask me. Pretty solid fan base because of the crazy time to kill potential, at least, assuming you could control the recoil and stay relatively close to the target. Everybody loves a good bullet hose SMG. And the Spitfire was very appropriately named, so I'm okay with it coming back. I don't know about the name Otter, but we'll see. Next up is the Puma, or the Pharaoh. This is another SMG I was not expecting. I think I've crapped on this gun before. Pharaoh, 4-round auto burst SMG, Black Ops 3, pretty insane time to kill, but you would almost never actually see that time to kill because of how awkward the gun was to use. If you stayed on target and get the first shot on your target, the TTK was good. I could see this remake being a fun, high-skill SMG that people are either going to love or they're going to hate once the community gets hold of it. The Cobra, or the Cordite. This Black Ops 4 SMG was pretty popular because of that insane ammo capacity as well as the operator mod that would give it something like 300 rounds in the magazine, but it would also give it the ability to overheat if you spammed it too long. The damage and time to kill was pretty respectable, and you would almost never get caught in a reload, which kind of made it good. I mean, kind of making it the Black Ops 4 equivalent of the P90, if you ask me. And the final one is the Komodo, the Kuda. The Kuda was one of the starting SMGs in Black Ops 3. Actually pretty high tier. Basically a futuristic MP5. Featured an above average rate of fire, above base damage, and in return you got that slightly bouncy recoil you would have to get used to if you were going to use it beyond close range. All of the MP5 spammers are probably going to be turned into Kuda spammers, I would assume, if it does end up being real. Now let's talk about a couple shotguns. The Husky, or the Haymaker 12. Full auto shoddy Black Ops 3. Actually pretty well balanced as far as spam shotguns go, if you want my opinion on it. Fire rate was high, magazine was big, but the damage wasn't actually very high, so you would usually need to hit someone 3 to 4 times to kill them, which it made it mid-tier overall. Now I'm a little worried that the new version is going to be totally busted with gunsmith attachments, but if they just port it into the new game as it was in Black Ops 3, it may be fine. This next one I'm happy about. The Akita, or the Argus. I'm excited. The Argus appeared in both 3 and 4. Fan favorites. Lever action shotgun, pretty tight hip fire spread, but if you aim down the sights, it turned it into a slug shotgun with some insane one-shot kill range. It also came with a cool magazine that looked like a tuna can. It was cool. I have no idea how this magazine actually worked or how it functioned or how it fed the shells into the gun, but I don't care. It looked awesome, and that's what matters. And the final one is the Corso, or the 205 Brecci. I hate to be the one to tell you this. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but allegedly the 205 Brecci is coming back. Semi-auto shoddy. It was a plague upon Black Ops 3. Huge magazine, giant hitbox, ridiculous 2-shot kill range. Made it one of the most skillless guns in FPS history. I have no idea what the team is thinking here in bringing this gun back in Black Ops 7, but according to the leaks, that's precisely what's happening. So let's just hope it's properly balanced this time around because Treyarch never actually nerfed this thing despite all the fan backlash. Now, let's talk about LMGs. Only 2 so far. The Hades, otherwise known as the Hades. That's right, the Hades from Black Ops 4. Triumphant return, probably. LMG, mainly known for its operator mod that basically turned into the chainsaw from Ghost, eliminated the ADS, but gave you a crossbar to tighten up that hipfire spread and improve your mobility so you could run around the map, erase people with a giant magazine, and you could just hold down as long as you wanted. Super cheesy, kind of fun. And the other one is the Zeus, otherwise known as the Titan. Do you remember in the early days of Black Ops 4 when the Titan was completely dominating multiplayer? The Titan LMG featured a pretty moderate rate of fire, but it also had super high base damage and basically zero recoil. Made it one of the best guns in the game because of how easily it could erase people in every scenario while also shredding through cover and blowing up kill streaks like they were nothing. Treyarch thankfully nerfed the Titan after a couple months of dominance in Black Ops 4, but it's apparently coming back, so we're going to have to wait and see this time around. Now let's talk about DMRs. The Scotia, or the Shiva. The Black Ops 3 Shiva is coming back, but this time it's classified as a DMR instead of an assault rifle, which honestly makes more sense given the fact that it could kill enemy players with a single shot to the head. The Shiva had a super low fire rate, but extremely high damage to make up for it, so it was a really hard gun to use, but it greatly rewarded you for being precise. I'm actually happy to see this coming back, and if it's true, I'm glad to see it over in the DMR category. The Omen, or the Man O' War. That's funny. O, and then put it on the front of man, and you have Omen. A little confusing. The Man O' War was one of my favorite guns in Black Ops 3, but I don't think of it as a DMR. Full auto assault rifle. I mean, it had a low fire rate, pretty hefty recoil, but it had a very long 3-shot kill range that made it super consistent and satisfying. But given the fact it's fully automatic, not really sure what it's doing in the DMR category. Possibly the gun is going to be reworked, assuming it's being ported from Black Ops 3. I don't know. We'll see. And finally, the Kara, or Kara, the XR2. It's one of the most slept-on guns in Black Ops 3. Extremely consistent one-burst kill, fantastic recoil pattern. This 3-round burst rifle would almost always kick to the target's head on the third shot, locking in the headshot kill if you were using the high-caliber attachment. Again, I'm a little unsure why the gun is classified as a DMR in Black Ops 7, but at least it makes a little more sense than a Man O' War. I could live with a 3-round burst gun being turned into a DMR, but the full auto's still weird to me. Now, the snipers. The Drake, or the Draken. Semi-auto sniper, pretty insane potential if you're willing to play to its strengths. The magazine was big, the fire rate cap was pretty high, but that recoil, it was unpredictable. And the one-shot kill range was basically just the head and the neck, which made it hard and demanding. But if you could aim high, stay on target, you could make it work. The Caspian, or the Locust. Yeah, bolt-action monster. Debuted in Black Ops 3, popular enough to be remade in Black Ops 4. Big magazine, super generous one-shot kill range, as well as super smooth handling and that quick ADS speed that everybody wants. In fact, I would say this is one of the best snipers in COD history. Absolutely going to be a fan favorite with the quick scoping community in Black Ops 7. But that being said, might have a little stiff competition because if this is true, get ready. The Baltic, or the Ballista. That's right. The Black Ops 2 classic coming back in full force. Bolt-action sniper completely took over sniping scene after the infamous DSR nerf, and if I had to guess, I would say the Locust is going to be the quicker, lighter sniper rifle in Black Ops 7, while the Ballista is going to be slightly heavier, more consistent one-shot kill. Maybe it'll be the other way around. I don't know. I'm actually not sure how the bolt-action meta is going to be in the game because both the Locust and the Ballista were lightweight rifles in Black Ops 3 and 2 respectively, so Black Ops 7 developers, they're going to have to make a few tweaks and changes in order to differentiate the two weapons. But if we get both of these iconic Black Ops snipers back this year, this is going to be crazy. And finally, the handguns. First up is the Atlas, the Executioner. No clue why we're bringing this piece of crap back for another game, but it sounds cool, it looks cool. It was trash in Black Ops 2, but it was also the first shotgun pistol in COD history, so I guess we're going to preserve it in memory in some capacity. I'm just hoping it doesn't turn into the Marshall 16s from Black Ops 3. The Timir, or the TAC-45. Now, this was one of my favorite pistols in Black Ops history. Basically a Desert Eagle in the body of a 1911. We call this a sleeper pistol. Super light, had really low recoil, but also could deal 50 plus damage with a single bullet, so it wasn't uncommon to see people running around treating it like a primary. I don't know if the new version will be that nuts, but I'm happy. And finally, the Orion, otherwise known as the Rift D9. Another remake I was not expecting. 2-round burst energy pistol. Added to Black Ops 3 supply drop system a few months after launch, and the community, I would say, divided. It was really good at taking down kill streaks for some reason, but it was also absolutely terrible against human enemies because of how slow it fired and how awkward that DPS was. So I'm a little confused as to why an energy pistol is being brought back in Black Ops 7, but I guess that's one way for the COD developers to slowly transition us back into maybe advanced movement. We'll see. There you have it. Huge shout out to Elias, a long-time channel contributor. And those are all the leaked weapons for Black Ops 7. Let me know what you think. If you guys want me to do a detailed breakdown of everything we know about Black Ops 7, I can probably make that happen. Make sure you get in on that PS5 giveaway. It is the pinned comment below, and I'll see you guys soon.